Mark, what did you see from Denver's defense down the stretch into the fourth quarter to kind of stall the offense into more isolation?
Yeah, I mean, at that point in the game, it becomes more of a possession game, so it just naturally slows down, and you got to execute. I thought we did some good things on some possessions. They obviously made a couple more plays, but things we can take a look at as we go into Game 4.
Overall, were you satisfied with the offensive process through the fourth and overtime?
Well, first of all, on a night where we didn't shoot the ball great, I thought we manufactured really well. You know, like we got offensive rebounds, we got stuff in transition. We were able to attack the paint, attack the rim. So that's what you have to do when you're not making a ton of jump shots. And we did that for much of the game. In terms of down the stretch and overtime, we'll take a look at it, but it becomes an execution game at that point, trying to generate the best shots you can. It's hard for both teams, obviously, in that situation. And credit Denver, they made a couple more plays.
No, it's not so simple, but before Shea checks in the fourth, it feels like Doug is cooking. And then when Shea checks in, obviously he's still trying to get a feel for the game, but he's shooting step-back threes. It feels like a few possessions straight. Did you feel like you maybe could have went to Dub a little more in that fourth quarter?
I mean, we can look at it, but, I mean, those guys have a great chemistry on the court together and find a nice blend. We're not going to, like, push the same button repeatedly. A lot of that stuff happens in the flow, and that's where, as a team, you got to have trust and you got to work together. And, you know, we've made a habit of that all year. So we'll look at the possessions and the execution and all that stuff and learn from it as usual, but I didn't think there was anything to that.
First half, the off-ball movement on the offside of the court seemed to really get you guys some easy looks. Second half, not so much. Was it something that they did specifically to take that away?
Yeah, I thought we attacked the zone pretty well on some possessions there in the first half. I thought some of that came against the zone. They played less zone in the second half. We'll have to look at it, but I thought generally, like I said, on a night where we didn't shoot it great with jump shots, we manufactured a lot and gave ourselves control of the game late into the fourth, and down the stretch they just made a couple more plays than we did.
Had it gone in the first half, and did you see anything different from the Nuggets to kind of take that away from you guys in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, some of that just might have been shot making, but he played a really good game tonight, both ends of the floor. Continues to help us on the glass. His rim protection really helps us behind all their actions. And offensively, I liked his aggressiveness. I liked the plays he made, the shots he took. Can't control whether or not they go in, but I thought generally he had a good floor game tonight.
Coach, it felt like Jamal got some decent separation on some of those screens. Just from your own viewpoint, how would you address how the physicality was in terms of Denver setting screens and you guys trying to fight over that?
Yeah, I mean, we did a really good job on him last game. They moved him more off ball tonight and got him running around that way to try to free him up. That's what good teams do, good players do. They have solutions to a lot of things, and they did a good job of shaking him free on some plays. But generally, I thought 102 points in regulation. I thought we did a pretty good job defensively on the game. Obviously, he made some plays, but I thought we made them earn a lot of their stuff.
Coach, to kind of piggyback off what you just said, you guys held Nikola to 8 of 28 shooting and 8 turnovers. What were we doing well, and what you did against him?
Yeah, like I said, we did a lot of good things tonight. It's obviously lousy to lose, but you can take a lot away, and we want to be a team that's improving through the series. You can't let the outcomes of the games distract you from that process, because that's what will drive the next outcome. And so I thought we did a lot of good things. Did a lot of good things on him. It was a really hard-fought game by both teams. It wasn't an easy game for anybody. I thought we did some good things on him.
At the same time, does it sting a little bit knowing that, again, this is you get this version of Nikola tonight, and you don't come away with the win?
I mean, losses always sting, especially in the playoffs, but what I would say is, like, we are in the process of becoming a great team, and we've checked a lot of boxes in that process. And one thing that it takes to be a great team is you get taken to the limit in the playoffs, and you've got to rise to the challenges that you're confronted with. This team's made a habit of doing that repeatedly. I have full confidence we'll continue to do that, but we have to embrace what this is. It's the playoffs. It's the highest level of basketball. It's incredibly challenging. And this is how you become stronger as a team, is you learn from these experiences, you stand up to them, and you improve. And that's our challenge right now.
Sort of speaking of a question that was earlier on in the same vein, J-Dub gets to 32 points with about a minute and 11 in the fourth. He doesn't get another shot until late into OT on that last, desperation shot. What exactly were they doing to sort of just close him off, or did the ball just not find him?
I'll go ahead and look at it. The first play in overtime was for him. He had the ball in his hands there, and we're certainly aware of him, but if he's got it going, they're obviously going to show a lot of help to him, and he's going to have to make plays off the ball. So, like I said, it's not like a button that you're pushing. A lot of his stuff tonight came in the flow. That's how we play. And we'll evaluate the possessions, but I thought the team's intentions were good, which is the most important thing.
Coach, Aaron Gordon, just his presence and what he was able to do on both ends of the floor, what have you been seeing from him in the sense of him being kind of a thorn to the side of what you guys are doing? And did you see anything differently in this game compared to the other two?
He's a really good player, first of all, so I don't think he's punching above his weight. This is who he is. He's been an incredible piece of their team for a long period of time, and he's shown up in these games. He made some big plays, big shots tonight, so we tip our hat to him. But I thought generally we did a good job with his driving tonight. We'll take a look at it, but we got to rise to the challenge of it. They're a really good team. They're obviously up 2-1 in the series, and our challenge is to be a better team on Sunday.
You mentioned the offensive flow. Late in games, it seems like there's been a little bit more stagnant offense. Would you attribute that more to what they're doing defensively or tired legs on your guys' end just from playing a lot of minutes? Where do you think that would, the root of that issue would be?
I just think, one thing is it's really hard to manufacture advantages late in games just because of the nature of a possession game, especially when the pace gets slowed like this. I think it was challenging for both teams. It was a grind in the last 6 minutes of that game for everybody. And so it just comes down to who can execute, who can make the most plays. They executed a little better, made a couple more plays. I think that's what it comes down to. We'll evaluate it. We're always trying to get better in every area of the game, but ultimately, I think that's what it comes down to.
Their first offensive rebound didn't come till 6:10 left in the third quarter. You win the rebound battle, win the turnover battle. No, there are no silver linings in playoff games, but does this one sting a little less considering those are things that you won and the reasons that you may feel like you lost are things that you can easily clean up?
Yeah, we want to improve through the series. That's how you have to approach a playoff series. It's a long series, and you have to improve as you go. And I think we've done a lot of improving since we started the series. And those two, you're talking about the rebounding, transition defense. Those are examples of areas where we've really improved. Like I said tonight, we didn't make a ton of jump shots. They shot the ball well from three. I don't know what they shot. They shot 40% from three. So on a night where we didn't win that battle in terms of shot making, we were able to manufacture ourselves into a very competitive game, and that's a credit to the way the guys executed. So, it sucks to lose, but you can't throw everything out the window when you do. You got to learn from the good and the bad.